For this example, we want to prove that the limit as x approaches -2 of 3x plus 5 is equal to -1. And we're going to show this using an epsilon delta proof. So the first thing you want to do in the proof is take what we call this side work, and that is finding the value of delta based on the value of epsilon. So what we do is we always go in and we take the absolute value of the function and we subtract the limit -1 and set that less than or equal to epsilon. And then from here, we work out a little bit of algebra to reduce this down to a point where we can actually read off the value of delta. So this turns into the absolute value of 3x plus 5 plus 1 is less than epsilon, which then turns into 3x plus 6 in absolute values being less than epsilon. We can factor out the 3 from the absolute values, and then we can divide both sides of the inequality by +3, and we end up with the absolute value of x plus 2 is less than epsilon over 3. And if we look back at the original definition, you'll notice that this is the same thing as your x minus c, because c is -2 in this problem. So this is technically the absolute value of x minus -2 being less than epsilon over 3. So we're going to take that to be the value of our delta in our proof. So now we're going to actually write our proof. And to write the proof, we go through and we start off with our value of delta being less than or positive, but at the same time less than delta. So we have the absolute value of x plus 2 less than delta. The next thing we do is we take this and we multiply both sides by 3. So you have 3 times the absolute value of x plus 2 is less than 3 times delta. And then we distribute it into 3, so we have absolute value of 3x plus 6 is less than 3 times delta. And then we rewrite the 3x plus 6 as 3x plus 5 plus 1 is less than 3 times delta. And you'll notice that we actually have our function minus our limit. So this is technically the absolute value of 3x plus 5 minus a -1 is less than 3 times our delta. And you'll notice now that we can replace our value of delta, which we said was 3 times epsilon. So we finally arrive at the absolute value of 3x plus 5 minus our limit -1 is less than 3 times epsilon over 3. And clearly from here, those 3's cancel out, and we arrive at the absolute value of 3x plus 5 minus a -1 is less than epsilon. And just to kind of see that we've completed our proof, this is our function f of x, this is our limit L, and f of x minus L in absolute values is less than epsilon. So our proof is complete.